Right, my man, we have arrived.
The Pavilion doesn't get any better. SEC League play, take no plays off.
Nothing better. Nothing better.
No doubt.
Looking for a baseball pass. They're going deep. Silva all alone. You shouldn't be told. A jam with 1.5.
That guy has been sensational. It really was to bring in Tyree Shore.
That's going to be a top 10 right there.
Alabama hangs on. They beat Kentucky for the first time in 6 years.
You beat Kentucky, you grab the man box and the boom box, and you start dancing. That's what we saw Avery Johnson doing as we welcome you to the SEC on ESPN. On the campus of Ole Miss, where the students aren't in session, but boy, have they showed up tonight. And here to see number 11 Auburn take on their own team, the Ole Miss Rebels. Great backcourts in this one. I'm Carl Ravage alongside Seth Greenberg, one of the top players in the conference right there, Breon Tyree, having a breakout season, the junior from Somerset, New Jersey, who's joined in the backcourt on Auburn's side by Jared Harper. He is the second leading scorer, almost 15 a game. What are we looking for, Seth, to start this one?
When you look at this Ole Miss team, they spread the floor, they drive it, they kick it, they're efficient offensively, and they can really shoot the three. On the other side, Auburn's going to come at you at warp speed. They're going to attack you in the paint. Ole Miss better rebound the ball on the defensive end.
Controlled by Auburn in the road orange. First conference game of the year. They've had 11 days off. We'll see if that takes its toll early for them. There's a turnover right off the hands of Okiki. Ole Miss will push with Tyree. Fade away, short.
Kermit Davis is going to let them attack early in the clock. If not, they want to move the ball side to side and move this Auburn defense.
Harper and Brown in the backcourt, Dowdy, Okiki, and Wiley. They have an advantage up top with Okiki and Wiley. And there's Wiley going to work and hard off the backboard for another miss.
Wiley's different than almost anyone in this game. He can carve out space on the low block. Better going off his left shoulder. They're going to try to play through him early.
Olenichik is a 7-footer as well, out of Poland, number 13. Tyree, Schuler, and Davis, 3 men in the backcourt. How about that shot? Hinson buries one. It's 3-0 Ole Miss.
Hinson is a freshman, started every single game so far for Ole Miss, can shoot the three, and I'll tell you one thing. Kermit Davis says he works as hard as any player he's ever had. The game rewards the guys that work.
Quick double and a near turnover. It's a heck of an athletic play to have it not go out of bounds, but another shot missed. Maybe a little rust here, not playing in so long.
No doubt there's going to be a little bit of rust right there. That was a little bit of a settle. I mean, Kermit Davis will live with that shot all day. Contested threes, they want to keep Auburn out of the lane.
Schuler clears space for himself, and he buries it. Good start for Ole Miss.
Really good start for Ole Miss, and when you make shots, it enables you to set your defense, keep the game in front of you, and keep Jared Harper out of the lane.
When they've gotten the ball down low to Wiley, they've double-teamed him immediately. Here he sets a high screen. There's the roll and a near turnover. 3 ball. That one goes through, and that's important for Auburn to get that first bucket from Bryce Brown.
Bryce Brown, he is a big-time three-point shooter, catch and shoot, shot fake, one dribble. And you're going to see Auburn extend their defense, not to turn Ole Miss over, but more importantly, to contain Ole Miss and slow the tempo down a little bit.
Olenichik, great position down low. He'll pick up the foul. Let's talk a little bit about Ole Miss. You come in here with a new coach, Kermit Davis, who took over a hardly bare cupboard that was left by Andy Kennedy. What has happened early for Kermit?
Well, most important, when you take over a job, he took over a very good backcourt that Andy Kennedy left him. First, you got to connect with those players. They're your players now, so you've got to earn their trust and vice versa. Then you've got to put them in position to play to their strengths. He built a system that fits his personnel, and then you've got to empower those guys. But the biggest thing he's done, Ravi, is this team is a little bit more disciplined offensively and a little more competitive defensively. A little bit better shot selection, a little bit better ball movement, a little bit better patience in the half court.
So it sounds like it's not a dramatic change, some tweaks.
Tweaks, and nothing better than a tweak.
A little tweak. They've won 8 straight for the first time since 12-13. And Tyree has been outstanding. I tell you, I don't know if it's rust or just the intensity of Ole Miss, but a turnover. They're second early here for Bruce Pearl's team.
First league game, first league road game. Haven't played in 11 days. It takes time to settle in. Key, right now, you're seeing a softer pressure, just trying to buy some time, limit your exposure to defend in the half court.
Good matchup here. Tyree going one-on-one, and some good defense forces him to get it out top. Here's the drive, and access denied at the rim. Big-time block from Wiley.
Bryce Brown is not a good on-ball defender. He's an elite on-ball defender, so you've got to get him moving. Beating him off the bounce will be difficult. Ole Miss is really good in special situations, underneath, side, out of timeouts. They will look to score. They got to understand there's 12 on the clock. First thing you got to do is you got to get it inbounds.
Five on the shot clock. Long three. Offensive rebound, nearly ran into his old man, but instead, Schuler puts it in.
And those are the plays for Bruce Pearl that absolutely drive crazy. Because when you think about Auburn, you think about extra possessions. They get it out of the defense, they get it on the glass.
Wiley launches a three, hits nothing but the backboard. Last night, Missouri came out, punched Tennessee in the nose. Tennessee ended up winning by 20. A little bit of that feel tonight here with Ole Miss doing that to Auburn.
Ole Miss has got to be very comfortable, doing a nice job of getting their defense set. If they can keep this game in front of them and keep Harper out of transition, they'll be in position to win this game.
Good pass from Harper down low, and that ball was deflected on the defensive end. Horace Spencer got a hand on it. There's another turnover, and a game getting a little out of hand early with the pace.
You got to advantage, disadvantage in transition. You can't make it without Terrence Davis. As a senior, needs to make a better decision.
Harper calms the water down with a three, and just like that, it's a three-point ball game.
See a little soft pressure, just making Devontae Schuler work a little bit, forcing Ole Miss to get into their offense a little bit slower. Now, all of a sudden, they're playing with a shorter clock.
Wanechek hit that all morning in the shoot-around, and he throws up an air ball. Harper the push. Brown three, and we're tied just like that. You take a punch, and all of a sudden you get up off the mat, and you're 9-9.
And all of a sudden you're 9-9. Why? Because you get clean stops on the defensive end, which enables Auburn to get out in transition. You've got to set your defense when you're playing against Auburn. All right, you don't set your defense, Brown's going to run the floor, Harper's going to deliver it. Bang, it's a three, and we're knotted up at 9.
Feels like a brand new building. The Pavilion opened in 2016, seats about 9,500 in a great atmosphere. Auburn and Ole Miss tied 9-9. Brown, the record holder for threes at Auburn. He's got 2 of them already. They've got 3 threes, and that's why we're tied here. But you can feel, and you've been here before with just conference road games, how much of a challenge it is.
It takes time to settle into a conference road game. It takes more time when it's your first game of the season in league play. But you know, what you can really see, your defensive transition is connected to your offensive execution. Early on, good offensive execution for Ole Miss. They set their defense. Last 2 possessions, all right, they're deep into the clock. Shot selection not as good. Auburn gets out of transition, and that's where they're most dangerous.
Freshman KJ Buffin wears 14. He's into the game for Ole Miss. Out of Gainesville, Georgia, 6'7", 220-pounder.
Very good passer, extremely long, very active. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ole Miss run some 1-3-1 zone with Buffin in the game.
That's Buffin with the ball. He gets it down low in a good spot for Hinston, who goes up high with that little finger roll, and it's a good one.
And you talk about coming out of the timeout, you want to execute. Coming out of the timeout, what does Kermit Smith do? Kermit Davis do? He goes inside to Bruce Stewart, isolates him on the block. That's a way to set your defense.
Alley-oop, net at the rim. Good defense by Tyree, and they try to break out with Schuler. That ball is blocked. Prior basket was scored by Bruce Stevens from Ole Miss. I think I said Hinston, but it was Stevens who put it in. Boy, no basket's coming easy.
They do a great job protecting front of McLemore. What his ability to run the floor, his ability to protect the rim, his ability to get to the offensive glass. He is a live wire, McLemore. And And he brings it in. Remember, last 7 games last year, he was out with a severe injury. He is a difference maker on the defensive end as an energy giver.
McLemore, 24, 6'7" out of Warwick, Georgia. Schuler out of the game now. Rebels basically have 3 guys that can run a point. Davis has the ball here. Tyree was the point guard last year as Stevens launches a 3. Offensive rebound and an easy putback. Blake Hinson.
Blake Hinson, a very talented young freshman, plays with live body, rebounds the basketball, but you have got to stop the ball early in transition on Jared Harper. You got to meet him, you got to corral him and contain him, and you got to contest him. As this game goes along, you're going to see them push up even further on Jared Harper.
You have to. Harper was in warm-ups, Steph Curry shots. Hinson, a little long on a 3. Good work on the offensive glass, but the ball blocked there at the rim by McLemore. 3 offensive rebounds already for Ole Miss. That's the thing that Auburn usually does, getting about 15 a game.
Auburn is so active around the basket. McLemore with terrific timing. And the cumulative effect of the ability to protect the front of the rim makes those lane baskets harder to finish. I've been really impressed with Hinson and Buffin, 2 young freshmen that really have tremendous potential.
How's Kermit Davis going to feel about the shot selection, okay?
That was too quick right there. Kermit Davis wants to move the defense side to side. He wants a second-sided or third-sided if they're in a half-court situation and move that Auburn defense and spread them out.
All 12 of Auburn's points have come off 3-pointers. And there's a turnover.
And Auburn's been very good in transition, not so good in the half court right there. Jared Harper trying to hit a home run. Bruce Pearl wants to move the ball, move people as well. They've been best in transition out of their defense. In the half court, they have not done a very good job of executing.
Javon McCormick coming into the game for the first time.
He's a disruptor. He is an elite on-ball defender. He'll get up and under right now Tyree and try to disrupt him.
Bryce Brown out of the game. 13-12 early, 13-22 on the clock in the first. Tyree had that deflected. You mentioned McCormick. That's off the leg, and it's going to be, I guess they're going to keep it with Ole Miss. Thought he pointed the other direction. And I think there's a little confusion as to whose ball it is.
And that's what McCormick's ability. His ability is not to defend but disrupt. Gets underneath the ball, very good active hands, turns the ball handler, creates a lot of havoc with his on-ball pressure.
Now Bruce is yelling over there at Keith Kimball that ball that McCormick deflected went off of the leg of Tyree.
You know what's going to happen on that one, Ravi? He's not winning.
He's not. That game's already over.
That game is over. Next play. Been there, done that. Little flex action right there.
Tyree, tough contested 3. Dunbar was in his face. Here's Harper one-on-one. He pulls up.
When I look at Harper, he's got to pick advantage, disadvantage. He can get that shot anytime he wants it. You want to be aggressive, but as a leader, and he's a ball guard, not a point guard. He's a scoring point guard, but he's got to make better decisions. Right now, they've lived and died with the 3. They've got to try to get some paint touches. They got to get paint touches on the pass. Right. They got to paint touches on the dribble. They can't settle just to attack on the first side.
We talked about how the advantage on the front court with Wiley and Okiki would play to Auburn's favor. They're not in the game right now.
Right now, Spencer has the ability to score around the basket. He's more of a defender and an offensive rebounder. Look how Ole Miss looks to attack early. If they don't have it, Kirk Davis, he wants to move the ball side to side. What I mean by second side, he gets the ball reversed once or twice. There's one reversal right there.
D.C. Davis into the game, number 20 for Ole Miss. Ball nearly picked off. Good pass down low and an easy layup. It's missed. K.J. Buffett had a chance to dunk it, let alone lay it up and in, and they ended up with nothing.
Good execution. The operation was success, but the patient died. Let me explain that to you.
Say that again, the patient's dead?
The operation was a success, right, but the patient died. They got right into the middle of the lane, Ravi. They got it right where they wanted to. Take your time and finish.
You had me right up until the operation was a success.
And then it was right over your head. Anything I can do to help you, let me know.
Please do. Let me know the next successful operation where the patient dies. wide open. Stevens said, I'll take it. In and out.
Stevens shooting about 31% from the three-point line, but he's a better three-point shooter than that. And Kermit Davis has given him the green light to step in and shoot that. And that was a wide-open room and rhythm three.
Seth got a chance to sit down with Kermit Davis and Bruce Pearl. Same time, wide open for three. Harper misses it. And a ball knocked out of the hands of Spencer when he went back up.
Now that's a good shot for Harper. Let me ask, can he get in the lane?
Apparently
He's got to get
not
downhill
yet.
and get some paint touches. Or they got to get it out of his hands and get it back to him where he can go and attack.
More like that play from Terrence Davis.
And that's what they need more of from Terrence Davis. Terrence Davis, as a senior, he's a guy that is wired to score. He's got to play downhill, and he's got to play smart defensively. He's taken himself out of a couple of games by making bad decisions defensively. Keep it in front, keep your hands back, contain people, but you cannot guard yourself by making foolish fouls on the defensive or offensive end.
Hardly a crisp beginning for either team with the turnovers and the quick shots.
Auburn, no flow to their offense right now. If you think about Auburn, the ball's getting stuck, and no one's playing for each other right now. They've played for each other in transition, but in the half court, the ball's really been stuck.
Auburn's got 4 field goals and 5 turnovers. There's a good pass, and we're going to get a foul. There's Pearl's clapping his hands.
And I'll give you a little idea. The pass was the eyes of the receiver. That pass led Stevens into that charge.
When we come back, Seth Greenberg sits down with old friends Bruce Pearl and Kermit Davis.
Kermit's been an innovator. He brought in that 1-3-1, 2-3 drop back zone that some teams can't handle. And if you've got a weapon that nobody else can handle, it's going to win some games for him. So
how are you going to attack it?
you know what? Here's how we're going to attack it. Wait. Here's what we're attacking. The exact way we've been attacking it. He's not going to do a ton different than what he's been doing. I'm not going to do a ton different than I'm going to do it, and we're going to see whether the kids can handle it.
You know, I think the biggest compliment that you can pay any coach is his team plays exactly to his personality. His team plays with great bravado, great confidence. I think he's one of the most underrated offensive coaches in our game.
When I put a little pressure on them, these guys are going to compete in the upper division, and maybe like Tennessee and Auburn a year ago.
Getting in his head right now.
Like Tennessee and Auburn. Hey,
Nothing's ever changed there.
last year we picked 11th or 12th. Tennessee was picked 13th or 14th, and we won the league. And so anything's possible. So
Bruce Pearl's pretty high on this Ole Miss team. You sat with him there, and we got a chance to talk with him over the course of the week a couple of times. He had that vibe that he saw his own team in Tennessee have last year, where you were picked so far down in the conference. You buying that with Ole Miss?
He understands what it is to build a program. He understands that process. He also understands the value of veteran guards. And this is an Auburn team that has veteran guards. Coming out of the timeout again. Now this time Bruce Pearl, what does he make sure the ball goes? Inside off that flex cut and roll back. Both coaches coming out of timeouts, dictating the shot they want.
Tyree hasn't gotten on track yet. He's been outstanding for them so far this season. He hasn't scored. But back to Ole Miss, where do you think they finish this season? I know it's early, but
I think
he's got him in the top tier.
I'm going to tier the league later on. I'd say they're in tier 3, which means they're going to be in position to get an NCAA tournament bid.
Yeah.
Tier 1, Auburn, Tennessee. Tennessee maybe a little ahead of Auburn right now.
Hold on, let's not let the
You're
cat
not
out of the
talking.
bag.
Hey, that's a tease. Is that called a tease?
That's a tease.
All right, there
Save
we go.
some of the tiers.
Every once in a while. It's actually
That's T-I-E-R.
It's the Greenberg grid. Yeah, the grid.
Oh, the Greenberg grid.
Yeah, you got to have a grid.
Not T-E-A-R when people
Yeah,
are
I know.
crying at some of the things you're saying.
Probably the way I'll explain it, people will be crying. And probably someone that's not in the grid that they would like
Right.
will probably be wanting me to cry.
Gotcha.
It's very elaborate.
Davis open and liked it, launched it and made it. Terrence Davis had 30 against Butler in November.
Both of these teams, when they've gotten into the half court and they've tried to execute a set, have gotten good looks. Sometimes they're playing faster than their abilities in the half court. Got to settle down in the half court and dictate the shot a little bit. There's the big double right there.
Olenicek got his hands in there, then the tie-up, and the ball to Ole Miss.
Really good job right there of Ole Miss, seeing the ball going to the post. They're doubling big to big. They're extremely alert. There's the slip in the post pass. Watch right there. Hinson goes to double. They shrink on the weak side, create a turnover, get an extra possession. Really good execution of their big-to-big double.
Okeke and Wiley back on the floor. Jared Harper comes out of the game. McCormick back in as they do a little three-quarter court pressure.
It's a little soft 2-2-1, buying time. Now all of a sudden, they've only been exposed defensively now for 20 seconds.
That's a travel.
And that little bit of pressure puts pressure on the offense once they clear the half court to get into offense. All of a sudden, they're Blake Hinson a little bit faster. Instead of resetting, they're playing off of concepts, and there's a turnover. Exactly what Bruce Pearl wants to accomplish. There's the double again. And you got to rebound the backside.
Weak side was open, but McCormick couldn't do anything with it. Tyree. Corner three. That looked good from the jump. And all of a sudden, Terrence Davis bangs two of them in a row, and they lead by 7.
And that's what makes this team so difficult, because you can defend Tyree, and all of a sudden Davis can get it going. Schuler can get it going. Those three guards as playmakers and scorers are almost interchangeable.
Davis has scored the last 8 points for Ole Miss.
Watch right here. Good active rebound. Watch Tyree. He's looking to attack and make a play. Reads it. Davis spotted up. Shot ready. Knocks it down. That's a transition three within your offense. Really nice job in transition for Ole Miss. Little 1-3-1 right here, which will end up in a 2-3 when the ball comes out of the corner.
It has
so
already.
Right now it's slid into the 2-3. They forced a quick three. To me, Auburn is settling. They're 4 for 9 from the three, but the threes they've missed have been settle threes, not within transition or within their offense. They can get that shot anytime.
See if they can free Davis up for another shot. He scored the last 8 for Ole Miss. Instead, they go to Olenichik, and it goes off his hands, and that'll be Auburn basketball.
That's just a bad decision. You can't put Olenichik in position to make that play. Take care of the ball, get a good shot. Both teams settle down and execute.
Number 1 Duke has a rising star.
Hold up, let me get up in it now. I'm here to win it now.
But the Seminoles are issuing a no-fly zone in Tallahassee. Number 1 Duke, number 13 Florida State. Saturday at 2 on ESPN.
Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern time, tough ACC. Florida State just got run out of the building at Virginia. Now they get number 1 Duke the next weekend. Leonard Hamilton's team's got all sorts of skill, but that was a bad matchup against Virginia.
They're long, they're athletic, and they are really good in Tallahassee. They've had a history of playing Duke well. They've obviously got to take care of the ball. You want to beat Duke? Take care of the ball, rebound the basketball. You do those two things, you have a shot.
There's Wiley met at the rim, big-time block. And it leads to a breakout dunk by Davis. Bruce Stevens starts it, Davis finishes. Okeke, he tries, and he'll get a foul. Well, they've done a terrific job at the rim denying both Okeke and Wiley.
Good job right there. Stevens protecting the front of the rim. You attack in transition. You get wide. If the defense doesn't stop you, what do? Punch it. It's about like exactly what Kermit Davis wants. Attack in transition, if not executing a half court.
Okeke misses the first free throw. And it's the first free throw attempt for Auburn tonight.
First free throw attempt, and they have only 1 assist so far in this game. They have more turnovers right now than field goals made. That's not Auburn basketball.
Now, all their points have been scored by 2 guys, Brown and Harper. No one else has scored for them yet.
And when they've had to play in the half court, they've really, really struggled.
Hinson going one-on-one with Okeke. Nice play. Feeling pretty good about himself walking way back. Blake Hinson back-to-back 11-point games and a 10-0 run for Ole Miss.
That's a freshman that graduated early and is playing like a grown man.
Brown got bumped, no good. Rebound Wiley, he's going to get fouled, and they'll go to the free throw line. Our Women's Hoops Thursday night showcase. Number 1 Notre Dame hosts number 2 Louisville. Last year, the Cardinals blew out the Irish. That was in South Bend, 167. Payback on the line, 7 p.m. on ESPN and the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Louisville 2, Notre Dame 1. Usually you see Connecticut up there.
Brianna Turner back for, obviously, this team, this Notre Dame team, changes them up coming back from an ACL. And you look at that Louisville team, Aisha Durr, she is flat out can hoop.
Connecticut beat Notre Dame this season. They play Louisville on the 31st of January, which is currently a 2 versus 3. But a big showdown Thursday, 1 versus 2 women's basketball, Louisville, Notre Dame. 25-16, 6:20 on the clock. Schuler.
That was second sided. They could have gotten that thing reversed one more time and gotten a better shot.
Harper kicks corner 3, and finally somebody other than Harper or Brown scores.
What does it come out of, though? Comes out of transition. It comes out of Ole Miss's offense. A little quick shot, bad floor balance. Defensive transition is an issue.
Brian Tyree has been pestered all night here by Jared Harper.
That's what happens when you're player of the week in the SEC.
Someone is hot. Terrence Davis buries another 3.
Now think about this. 31 points Brian Tyree gets against Vandy. So you're setting your defense and doing a great job on Tyree, and all of a sudden, Terrence Davis stacks up, sees a big basket, finishes around the rim. That's what makes this Ole Miss team so tough.
Brown's got an answer to silence the crowd here a little bit, but back and forth we go with 3s.
Brown silences the crowd, Ravi. But once again, that's a play he's making for himself off the dribble. They've got to get something where they move the defense and they play with each other and make a play for each other.
Tyree getting frustrated. Good defense, but your point's well taken. On a night Tyree's being shut down with 3 turnovers and 3 attempts and no baskets, Terrence Davis has 13 points.
Coming off that ball screen, he gets the switch. Wiley on him, he sees Wiley on him. You either attack the big or create space. He creates a little space. He is seeing a big basket. Here comes that 1-3-1.
Bad
Terrific
pass.
job right there.
They're going to call 10 seconds. The ball never crossed half court. Mistake. Gary Harper had a chance to pick it up. He didn't think this was going to be a violation, but it's a good call.
And when you play a 6'8" forward at the top of the 1-3-1, you distort passing lanes. If you can get the ball handle or pick up his dribble, you can back off into that passing lane. Great job right there by Henson, distorting that passing lane.
DC Davis back in the game.
Pretty good jump shooter, DC Davis.
Oladichuk camps out. Little jump hook over Spencer. Harper wide open. No roll. Rims have been a little tight for Auburn here at the Pavilion. And a couple go down and out.
And the 1-3-1 forces a quick shot on the first side. That's, you know, is that a good shot? Is it a shot he can make? Sure it is.
Good hands and a steal by Doughty. He's got a 3-on-2, and it leads to a flush. Good hands by Samir Doughty.
You've got to be good with the ball when Doughty's guarding. He is a hard-playing, on-ball defender with really active hands. Watch a little dribble handoff coming out of this.
0.
Another 50-50 ball one, and Davis this time misses a 3. A rare miss for Davis. Doughty dribbles into traffic and a turnover. Good defense, went straight up, no foul called. And Auburn pushes, 3 in the corner. Splash, Samir Doughty's made an impact. How about that defense down the other end that time, Seth?
Great job, Vertical. Got a surprise. Kermit Davis might need a timeout, or he's got to run a set to get the ball inside.
Horace Spencer had that special block.
Great job, Vertical. Straight up, stayed in his space.
Another offensive rebound and a foul. It feels like this run started with the Doughty steal.
Ball pressure. Ball pressure buys times. Ball pressure disrupts. Ball pressure can get you going. All right, right there. Watch that block straight up. Actually, Spencer came down with his hands a little bit. Maybe got out a little lucky. Play on.
Luck never hurts.
E-Trade halftime report coming your way in just a few moments. Dallin Cup, Sean Farnham will join me. We'll talk about the Wendy's Wooden Award mid-season watch list is out. We'll run down some of those players here. Kind of a frenetic pace in this first half.
It is. Ole Miss is working hard, 9 offensive rebounds, but they show you have to be locked in defensive transition because Auburn is starting to get some open looks in transition.
You know whose seat I'm sitting in right now?
Yeah.
Seth Greenberg's seat. Coach, I'm sitting in your seat. I got to ask you a question. You ran multiple programs. What's it like year one, and how has Kermit Davis done establishing his culture?
Kermit Davis has non-negotiables when he came in here, but he inherited a really good backcourt, as you know, Sean. You know this league as well as anyone. And what he's done is he's put these guys in positions to play to their strengths. But he's also given them some non-negotiables offensively and defensively. They're a little bit more disciplined offensively. Shot selection has improved, and they really do compete defensively, although they're multiple defensively in terms of playing some man, some 1-3-1, and some 2-3. He's done a terrific job.
What are the Seth Greenberg non-negotiables?
You know, to me, when you take over a program, first and foremost.
Forget basketball. I mean, like you go into a restaurant. Like, what's a non-negotiable for you?
There's no non-negotiable in a restaurant for me, as you saw the way I ate lunch today. No, like when you take over a program, right, you've got to make sure you guys understand what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. All right, whether it's on the court or off the court, whether it's how you walk into practice, how hard you practice, right? Playing hard is a given, right? Playing well is the goal, and you cannot allow any player to take a playoff on any day, because if you do that, that becomes a habit. I think that's the first and foremost what Kermit has instilled in his team.
Your Yankees, no facial hair, non-negotiable.
That's a non-negotiable. The boss man didn't like facial hair. Some pretty good guys cleaned it up, didn't they?
They sure did. And one. Ole Miss out of that break, got it to Buffin, and he got hit, and he got the bucket. And a technical foul called on the Auburn bench. It wasn't on Coach Bruce Pearl. It was somebody on the bench who said something.
I think it was Stephen Pearl, to be honest with you. You can't get one Pearl, you'll get another.
Nobody that got up off the bench, that's for sure. Perhaps somebody said something.
The magic word will get you every time as an assistant coach. Listen, you're talking about Buffin right here. That is a good physical drive for a young freshman right there. Playing to and through contact. Hinson and Buffin, these two guys are basically going to be the foundation for the future of Ole Miss basketball.
Brian Tyree shoots the technical, and he gets it to go. And
that's big also, Ravi, because Brian Tyree has struggled.
Hasn't seen a ball go through the basket.
Now he sees the ball go through the basket, feels a little bit better about himself. Who knows what could happen? That was a big-time drive right there by Buffin.
Ole Miss fans letting Bruce Pearl know his emotional state. Bruce is angry.
Well, I got a question, Ravi. Is that true or false?
Knowing Bruce the way I know him?
I mean, I would say I'd be angry. I might have an out-of-body experience right now if one of your assistants gets it.
He's running warm, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's running a little hot.
A little hot.
You know what the non-negotiable is? Your assistant coach shouldn't get a technical foul.
Good hands and a turnover. Ole Miss has it. See what happens in the last 2 minutes of this half. It's been a little seesawish. Ole Miss has maintained the lead They got a chance to really expand it here in the last two. Olejniczak fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. I think they're going to call that on McLemore with a push from behind. Hey, Saturday, double header. ACC college basketball at noon. It's the Tar Heels hosting Louisville, and then Zion Williamson, number 1 Duke. They're in Tallahassee. We've talked about that. Take on number 13, Florida State, in a Sonic blockbuster. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. So David Ross, our buddy from our baseball coverage, texted. He's like Florida State guy, but he's War Eagle guy. He was part of both.
Is he conflicted or something?
I think he's just I think he's just, he spreads himself to root for both. So he gave us a War Eagle for Auburn. He didn't give us a hottie toddy, but he gave us a War Eagle.
No hottie toddy. Come on.
And now he's going to go Knowles on the weekend.
Yeah, think about this. Auburn leads the league in Kermit Davis's opinion in extra possessions. Turnovers forced, points off turnovers, offensive rebounds. Right now they've got 9 turnovers and they've given up 9 offensive rebounds. So the extra possession game right now is all in Ole Miss's favor. And to me, if you look at special situations, extra possessions, that's how you win league games, because they become possession games. Watch for an inside screen and a cross here somewhere.
He had Wiley, and he didn't see him.
Okeke's got to finish that. He got the ball in the lane on that little duck-in flash. He's got to catch it, be ready to score it. That's the one thing, Okeke. He doesn't do anything outside. He makes good decisions. He's an unselfish passer. He's a good defender. But at some point, I know he's only a sophomore, he's got to be more aggressive, attack the basket. He's catching it right in front of the lane. Good job right there. Shot fake and crack the defender. He's indecisive. Be aggressive, look to score. You catch it in the paint, 2 feet in the paint, finish it.
It's a very good free throw shooting team, Ole Miss. KJ Buffin hasn't had a ton of opportunities. He's at 62%. The team is one of the best in the country as far as free throw shooting goes, at about 77%.
How about the contribution they've gotten off their bench from Buffin? I mean, you think about Buffin and Henson and the boys that they play with as freshmen.
And they got those guys late.
And that, you know what the most important part of recruiting is? Evaluating. Well, it's easy to pick at those top 20 or top 30 guys, but not where a guy is, but where he's going. What is a guy's potential? What's his work ethic? What's his attitude? How important is it for him to be good? And both of these coaches have done an incredible job. You look at the backcourt for Auburn, Jared Harper, under-recruited. Bryce Brown, under-recruited. And then you look at the freshman class for Ole Miss. Really impressive to get those guys late.
With the exception of Kentucky, it feels like if you listen to Tennessee, if you listen to Missouri, if you come here and listen to these two, it feels like that they take the 2- and 3-star players and try to make them 4- and 5-star players.
Well, the 3- and 4-star guys, and try to get them to get old and stay old. You're looking at upper-class backcourts that have played a lot of basketball, that have worked on their game. Bruce Pearl made a great point when we were visiting today. He said, you got to give the players credit, because these 2 young guys who have a little chip on their shoulder, Harper and Brown, they get in the gym, they're putting in the work, all right, and they're making themselves better by their commitment and their desire to be better.
Good take, and that one drops. Davis continues to have an outstanding first half, closing in on 20 points. He's got 17 now in the first half. Bree and Tyrese giving him 1 point, their leading scorer, and they are currently up by 11.
You take away transition baskets for Auburn right now, and they have really struggled in the half court.
We're going to get a foul on the floor. They're going to call that on Devontae Shuler. In these last 2 minutes, Ole Miss has been able to put a little more distance between themselves and the Tigers.
Terrence Davis, watch him right here. He rejects that ball screen because they're down in it, and he attacks the rim. That is just a really good recognition. All right, they're trying to down it and force him away from the screen. A little bit of a fake moves the defender. The defender that was guarding the screener didn't do a good job of sealing between the ball and the basket. and he finishes. He has had a heck of a first half.
Yes, he has. Schuler hits the first. Remind everybody, you can stream college basketball all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today, downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com.
I don't leave him home without it, I can tell you that much.
You what?
I don't leave home without ESPN Plus.
You're
nothing better.
You're buttoned up with the Plus app. Largest lead of the first half for Ole Miss. Last shot coming up for Auburn. They throw the alley-oop, it's denied. Now Ole Miss got a chance. Schuler still has time with 5 on the clock. Tyree falls, fires, and no good. No foul there. No contact. Auburn has not trailed by this many at the half this season. Ole Miss continues to impress under first-year coach Kermit Davis. What will the pearls of wisdom be? We'll find out when we come back for the second half. But first, to the studio, Chris Cotter, Dallin Huff, and Sean Farnham. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. We are on the campus of Ole Miss. The Pavilion at Ole Miss opened in 2016, and they have established it as one of the great home court advantages. Even though the students aren't back, many have come for this game. Alongside Seth Greenberg, I'm Carl Ravitch. 42-29, Ole Miss leading Auburn. Auburn and Tennessee, of course, the champions in the conference last season. So I sat here and I went over all the stats.
Did you?
And you disappeared. So where did you go?
I went into the Ole Miss locker room. Kermit invited me in. I didn't speak to the team, thank goodness. But this is what I learned. He said, look, we got to continue to rebound the basketball. We're plus 11. We've got to get to 50-50 balls. We were 5-2 in the first half. Be ready for pressure. They're going to come after you. They're going to try to turn us over. But most importantly, we got to second side the ball. What does that mean? Don't settle for shots on the first side. We shot 29% on the first side. But here, when the ball gets reversed and we move the defense just a little bit, we open up the floor, we make plays. We shot 60% from the field when we second sided it. To do that, you got to compete offensively. This team's ready to compete. They got to take care of the ball, and they got to continue to rebound.
The stat sheet shows Terrence Davis had 17. The big guys down low for Auburn. Chuma Okeke, Austin Wiley, 0 for 6.
When they catch the ball, they got to carve out space and be more aggressive. And Bruce Pearl just told us they've got to execute in the half court. Right there, better possession. Even though it ended up with a 3, they moved Ole Miss side to side. They'd like to get a post touch. If they can't settle, they got to execute on the offensive end, and they've got to compete harder and be tougher.
Bryce Brown has 14 points to lead the way for Auburn. Breein Tyree has 1 point. He's the leading scorer, averaging almost 19 a game for Ole Miss. He's got 1. Let's go back to last night. Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield were shut down. Tennessee still won big. Tyree's being shut down, and Ole Miss has got a 10-point lead.
Terrence Davis was pretty good, you know what I mean, Coach?
Yeah, he is.
There's that big-to-big double. Okeke catches the ball and Wiley catches the ball. They're going to double right there. Big-to-big, they got to seal down and take that away. Nice job right there. Good communication.
Dowdy was a spark plug in the first half. Here he kicks it to Brown. We got 5 on the shot clock. Fade away. And a tough shot. Good rebound by Olenichik.
Olenichik putting a body on Wiley, creating some space, rebounding the ball with 2 hands. That's pretty solid possession right there to get that stop. Now they're going to try to get the ball inside, I would think.
Your big man masquerading as a mountain? Or
mountain masquerading as a man. You're getting there, though, Rabbit.
Olenichik is that.
Yeah, he is. And more.
Missed layup, and it was a pretty easy shot for Davis.
Nice job in defensive transition. Bruce Pearl's going to try to orchestrate the second half and try to dictate the shot when they get to the half court as opposed to just letting them play off concepts.
Wide open 3, a little short on the release. Olenichik off his knee. I think we're going to stay here with Auburn.
You know, when I say big-to-big double, what I mean is when the ball goes into the low post, you're going to see the opposite low post defender right now, Olenichik. He's going to come and double. So there's 2 bigs on the ball. You come big with high hands. You go chest to chest. What are you forcing? They're forcing a high pass out or a pay. You really want to take away that ball side pass. But nice job of recovering out of that big-to-big double out of Auburn. They're getting the ball out of the post by doubling it big-to-big.
Bruce Stevens into the game. Olenichik to the bench. Harper. No good. Wiley had it, and he got fouled at the rim. Good offensive rebound. Bruce Stevens there with the foul.
And that's the benefit of dribble penetration. When you get in the lane, get paint touches on the bounce, it moves the defense in rotation, which gives those bigs a chance to rebound on the weak side or wedge rebound, push their defender underneath the basket. They've got to make sure they contain Harper off the bounce, keep him in front.
Another number I think that sort of surprises you from the first half. Given Auburn's ability to offensive rebound, they've averaged 15 a game. In the first half, Ole Miss had 9, and Auburn had 3.
They did a really nice job of cutting people out and being physical on their blockouts.
Wiley missed the first. Here's the second. That one drops.
And here comes the pressure. Now, Kermit Davis covered this at half court. He talked about working to get open, being strong with the basketball, and if they don't double, clear quickly. So that's a denial once they don't trap, or if it's a one trap, once the ball comes back to a ball handler, clear quickly and open up the floor. Nice job trying to post Davis right there.
There's a turnover.
You got to be more patient. That's forcing it inside. They tried to isolate Davis on the block, but you can't force it in if you don't have it second sided. Get it reversed one more time.
So rebounds, 50-50 balls. How much of that first half was one team's effort versus the others?
If you ask Bruce Pearl, it would say one team's effort versus the other. Here's a little 1-3-1 right. They're going to look to be aggressive in this. But watch when the ball goes down to the corner. They slide into a 2-3 zone now, and they're going to scramble out of it.
Samir Dowdy 3, no good. Offensive rebound by Okiki.
That's their third offensive rebound in the first 3 minutes.
Dowdy does it again, and he rattles it in. A little more energy from Auburn to start the second half.
A lot more energy on the glass, which is giving them extra possessions.
3 offensive rebounds in the second half, so you heard what Kermit told his team. We now know what Bruce told his team. So far advantage Pearl in the second half.
Number 1, Notre Dame. Number 2, Louisville. Oh my! Thursday at 7 on ESPN.
Looking forward to that game Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Louisville and Notre Dame. Given UConn's perceived struggles, obviously, this season, they're not unbeaten. There's a handful of teams that are still unbeaten. A little more parity in women's basketball, and you have a 1 versus 2 without Connecticut in it. Ogunbowale and Notre Dame will take on Louisville. That's the history they've had in 1 versus 2 games. Notre Dame has struggled. Louisville hasn't experienced it. Thursday, 7 Eastern
Good
time.
Execution out of the timeout right there.
Good interior defense. That time looked like Wiley came down with his arm, and that's going to be an automatic foul. His third.
Think about that. Without Stanford, without Mississippi State, without UConn, without Baylor.
Right.
A little bit different. Shows that right now there are more good teams, and I think that's really good for the women's game, to have more competitive teams.
You don't like the one dominant giant monster?
I think what they do is they set the standard, and by doing that, it makes people make a decision. You want to have a basketball team, a basketball program, and that's the challenge for everyone else. And you're seeing greater commitment. Investment equals expectation. Your expectation, your investment's got to equal your expectation. I think people have made greater commitments, and you're seeing more good programs.
8-point game, 16:40 to go.
That was huge right there for Ole Miss. They've got to try to get a couple of consecutive stops right now. Get 2 or 3 stops and roll a little gap right there.
Here's a stop.
He's got to go up stronger than that. You catch it, collect yourself, and then you've got to go stronger.
There's Tyree, blocked, and it stays inbounds. Okiki. Does it lead to a 3? It does. Okiki, and that's a Bryce Brown 3.
How good is Auburn off a defensive stop and a block shot, getting out, running wide, and shooting a 3? Brown does a great job of changing ends, getting behind the ball to shoot that 3. That's a bad shot.
Another block. There's a foul on Buffin. 2 good defensive possessions by Auburn.
This is a really good defensive possession. You protect the rim, and what does that lead to? And right there, good job of verticality. You keep the ball in play, advance pass. Brown gets down the floor, and we got a little basketball game right here, Carl Rabbit.
Like that. We like it. Shark in the house, Candygram in the house. What you don't see on the campus here for the 44-39 lead at least in this building, are dogs. But I will tell you where you can find dogs. What is the Zoom to Groom mobile pet grooming? And what does Bruce Pearl have to do with it?
Bruce Pearl and his wife Brenda, they're part owners in the Grove Barkin.
The Grove
and the Zoom to Groom mobile grooming, pedicures. You know, get a little full brush. By the way, they don't just have. It's not even a boarding. They have dens. They have villas. It's a spa. In fact, Ravi, next time I come here,
you're staying there.
Auburn, I'm leaving you at home, and I'm taking Jake.
Perfect. I'd love to see you and Jake camp out in the.
I heard you have an Auburn game at Auburn this year, probably, right?
I'm going to go to
You might have to stay at the Grove Barkin.
The Grove Barkin. They have TVs for the dogs. Those of us that have pets, we know how irrational we can be. I mean, that's a $70 billion industry. Pearl getting a little piece of that.
Always got to have a backup plan. The Grove Barkin, nothing better. What's your dog's name?
Lila.
Why don't you do a little road trip, a little bonding?
Please.
You could stay with Lila? You can just stay there.
I just as soon bring Seth back. All right. Your dog has a Twitter handle. That shows how irrational things have gotten.
Jake on Hoops. He's got a Twitter handle.
Jake
He's big.
has a Twitter handle. We got ourselves a good game. 44-39 Ole Miss. A couple of empty possessions for both teams. McLemore went for it. He got called for a foul. Remind everybody, tip off your weekend. Our next NBA Friday doubleheader on ESPN, 7:30, Pacers, Knicks. And then Salt Lake City, the Lakers and the Jazz. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 p.m. on ESPN and the ESPN app.
You love Donovan Mitchell. That is your guy.
It was my guy in college. It's my guy now. He's gone next level in the NBA. He is something else. Reminds me of Darryl Griffith. Remember Darryl Griffith?
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Just want to make sure you remember Darryl Griffith.
Pacers really good. Right now, this is a challenge for this Ole Miss team, right? They have an opportunity to have a huge home win. Because 15 minutes ago, they've got to remain composed, but they got to remain aggressive. And now all of a sudden, they got to look in the mirror and say, all right, we've been here before. We've got to fight through this moment. Get a stop, get something easy, and make a play.
Samir Dowdy and Buffin have been talking since that last defensive possession. And they're continuing to kind of chat with each other. There was a little contact from Buffin. He's got a little something going.
Yeah, Dowdy's a fierce competitor. I mean, Bruce Pearl charts every single drill they have preseason, winning and losing. And the thing that he found out about Dowdy is that he's always on the winning team. He figures out a way to win. Whether it's get a stop, make a shot, empower someone else, compete, get his teammates to play a little bit harder. He's just has a toughness and the intangibles that help you win.
As aggressive a move as Okiki has made all night, and it results in a bucket and a chance for a three-point play.
And this is what they need more of if you are Auburn. Okiki can't settle. He's got to engage and he's got to attack. Drives it on balance, gets himself squared up, extends out, finishes through the contact. To me, Okiki has a chance to take his game to another level. Yeah, he can pass it. Yeah, he can defend. Yeah, he lets the game come to him. But sometimes you can't defer. Sometimes you've just got to go and put your arms around the game and say, you know what? Let me go make a play.
Took him the whole half and 6 minutes of the second half to make a move like that. 3-point ball game. Bree and Tyree still 1 point in the game. Averaging 18 on the season. Good pass wide open. Wow. It took a while there to lay that thing in. Almost drew the defense and got the shot blocked.
Yeah, he tried to be patient. He didn't close off as well as he needed to. Here's the 1-3-1 right now. They're going to be aggressive in this thing.
And it worked. Now they got a 3-on-2. Buffin. That's a goaltend. A steal. And 2 points. And Ole Miss lead grows to 7.
And right here, this is the benefit of that 1-3-1. You got a 6'8" guy on the front. You read the passer's shoulders. You look to get into the passing lane, and then you convert for easy offense. And now they're going to come right back at it. Watch Buffin. He's going to bluff and recover and try to get the ball handler to pick up the basketball, and then he'll back off. When it goes to the corner, they look to trap. When it comes out, they're going to be in a 2-3 zone. A quick shot is like a turnover. A quick contested shot is like a turnover. Really good adjustment right there. Kermit Davis changing his defense, changing the momentum of the game. Nice backdoor.
Great backdoor cut. Layup is made. There's Brian Tyree. He went high off the window. And just like that, a three-point game has exploded to 9.
And watch again. This is second side. Second side. We're not settling on the first side of your Ole Miss. You shoot 60% when you get it to the second side. There's the second side. Great job of Tyree setting the backdoor cut up, playing out of the corners. Terrific pass right there.
Good answer.
That's really good basketball. They stay in the 1-3-1. Watch, it's 1-3-1 until the ball comes out of the corners. Once it comes out, it's more of a 2-3 zone.
Brown. Boy, he's been so steady tonight for Auburn. Knocks down another 3.
Balanced penetration against that zone from the baseline. Brown does a nice job of sliding to an open spot.
20 in the game for Bryce Brown.
It's the second time they've tried to post up Davis. The second time they have not been patient. It's just a little slice back cut to get him to the post up. Right, catch it, face, be strong on the ball. If you don't have it, swing it and get it to the other side.
There's Brian Tyree. His cousin is David Tyree, of course, famous for the helmet catch in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. 31 points against Vanderbilt. Only 3 tonight. He's taken 10 fewer shots.
Oh, I got that pass was from Eli Manning.
Uh-huh. Yes.
How about that?
The whole Ole Miss. Yep.
I see where you're going with that, Ravi.
Here's a run out and look out below. Whoa, with a dunk and a foul. Terrence Davis, touchdown, TD.
You know what that's going to be?
Probably on SportsCenter.
Probably on SportsCenter.
Terrence Davis had 20 Division I scholarships to play wide receiver. Chose basketball, and a big moment in this game with a foul on Okiki.
You talk about 50-50 balls. That's one of those 50-50 balls Kermit Davis was talking about at halftime. There were 5-2 and 50-50s. You get 50-50s, good things happen. You've got to win the hustle game to beat Auburn. Right now, Ole Miss has got back to winning the hustle, and now change it back to a little bit of man-to-man. Auburn's settled in a little bit. Now you switch your defense. You try to get Auburn out of rhythm. The big double. Good job right there, jamming that dive.
Brown's 3 no good. Dunbar met at the rim, but the ball goes in. No foul call. The Auburn bench wanted one.
That was a grown man
rebound.
It was. I mean, that was an Admiral Schofield. We're not saluting Dunbar, but that was a Schofield-like play.
Malik Dunbar, 6'6", 230, the senior. There's a pick and a steal, and then Dunbar went behind his back and lost it out of bounds. (53-46), under 12 here at Ole Miss.
One of the greatest of all time. With the knockout win.
Chris Conner back at Bristol. Oh, I like those tunes. Houston trying to remain unbeaten, taking on Temple. You knew this was going to be a tough road test. Oh, look at Nate Louis going to the rack, playing through contact, all tied up in that one on ESPN News. Coming up next here on ESPN2, Dedrick Lawson. Kansas, life without Udoka continues. They're taking on TCU. Ravi, Coach?
Chris, so how impactful is the Udoka injury and out for the season for Kansas? Does it take them out of the national championship conversation?
I think it does. When you think about their team, they're playing with a young backcourt. And what Udoka does is the improvement he's made during the course of the time he's been in Kansas is phenomenal. But when he's on the floor, you have to have your eyes on him, which all those step-in threes become a little bit more room and a little bit more rhythm. So yeah, they take them, and then I think it takes them maybe out of the Big 12 championship. Wow. I'm going with the field.
Whoa. This is the year to probably do that.
Hey, look, Texas Tech, Iowa State, TCU playing at a very high level with a terrific backcourt.
We'll see them tonight against Kansas. 5-point game. Tyree trying himself. No good. How about the hustle there, or lack thereof, from Auburn?
And that would drive the coach crazy. When we talk about Auburn, and we talk about what Kermit Davis talked about before the game, the hustle plays, right? The extra possessions, the 50-50 balls. That's a perfect example. Bruce Pearl's upset. Go after that thing with two hands and get beat first to the floor.
KJ
Don't
Buffin
wait for
came
it to
from
come
the
to
other side of the free throw line and the lane to get it.
Yeah, he's just standing, Dunbar, just standing up, Hinson right there, playing into his chest with two hands. Right now, Auburn has done a good job of making it hard for Ole Miss to get the ball. Look for some type of backdoor right here. There it is.
There it is. Blocked there as Tyree continues to try to get on track. That time he ran into Wiley underneath. Harper thought he was going to shoot it himself. Instead, he kicks it, and they still have 14 on the shot clock.
We saw Harper punch one in Maui this year. That was ridiculous.
Yes,
3 seconds on the clock. Let's see what Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl very good in short clock situations. Look for some type of like screen to screener where someone's coming into the corner.
Harper and McCormick, the two shooters on the floor.
Look for Harper, set a little cross screen from McCormick, maybe coming up right through Okiki and Wiley for a double screen.
Instead, they get it to the corner.
Himself. Nice job.
He used his elbow to push off, and we're going to have a shot clock violation. Been a rough night for Harper. Only 6 points in the game.
Harper and Tyree both struggled. You got to give Bryce Brown a lot of credit. The job he's doing on Tyree's been terrific. He is an elite defender. What Bruce Pearl did right there is he took his two bigs away from the basket, pops Harper, lets him play one-on-one with the bigs lifted. Pretty good play, just didn't have a chance to score. Watch dribble handoff there. There it is.
Davis on fire tonight. Knocks down another one. 23 in the game for Terrence Davis.
They run about 4 or 5 pings out of that little set. That was a really good job executing. You can't go underneath that dribble handoff right there.
Bruce Pearl wants to talk about it.
And that's a lack of focus and attention to the scouting report.
Take a 30-second timeout midway through the second half. Back here at Ole Miss, the SEC on ESPN. That is Auburn and Ole Miss. Hey, Saturday noon Eastern time, Cardinals of Louisville will take on the 12th ranked Tar Heels. And then a little later, Zion Williamson, number 1 Duke. They're in Tallahassee. Never a fun place to play. Led on Hamilton's Florida State Seminoles, number 13 in the country. You can watch it anywhere, anytime, streaming it live on the ESPN
Watch
app.
Terrence Davis right there. Harper goes underneath that screen. He steps back, knocks down the 3. I wouldn't be surprised going 1-3-1 out of this timeout. Kermit Davis once again trying to get Auburn to react to them.
Alley-oop, and no foul called. Wiley had some contact, and Bruce Pearl asking Doug Shows, where was the whistle?
Good recognition right there with the diagonal pass to Wiley, really hard to seal down. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bruce Pearl now because Davis is playing the way he is, taking Bryce Brown, putting him right now on Davis,
right,
and sliding Harper to Tyree. Because right now, Terrence Davis is having his way with Jared Harper. His size and his ability to shoot over the top of him.
10 minutes to go. We're in the bonus already, so we'll get some free throws here.
That last play when Davis knocked down that 3, it's real simple. The way he's shooting the ball right now, you can't go under that dribble handoff. You go under it, he's going to step back and he's going to knock down that jumper.
How about the offensive work on the glass? What a difference this half for Auburn than the first half. As Wiley goes to the bench, Spencer comes in for him.
That's wedge rebounding. You're in that first spot in a free throw situation. You got to stay low. Low man wins. You got to drive that guy back. They got pushed under. Watch the inside seal right there. There it is.
Bruce Pearl pumps his fist, says yes. Dunbar's going to go to the free throw line shooting too. By the way, 3 offensive rebounds in the first half for Auburn, Seth. They've already doubled that with Still 10 minutes to go in the second half. They get 6.
Real good execution right there. All Dunbar did, he just cross-screened and sealed to put the defender on his back. Bruce Pearl trying to get to the line, trying to attack the interior. That really nice thing. It's rolling.
Okay. We'll hear about that.
Who opened up the door? How hard is it to shoot this one, Randy?
You're going to get rim. You're going to get something because you're certainly going to put a little more on it. 65% free throw shooter. He makes 1 of 2, and it's a 2-possession ball game. Open for a 3. Wasn't Davis, it's a miss. And a 50-50 ball goes to Auburn. We're going to go back down the other end and shoot free throws. Schuler undercut Dunbar. He's going to go shoot 2 more.
And Kermit Davis doesn't mind that shot. And he's a good shooter, but he has struggled shooting the ball. But he can step into that. You watch him in practice, he knocks it down. They chart him, he knocks it down. It hasn't translated to a game. That was pretty good execution right there. He just didn't make the shot. It's be a long last 9 minutes. You're not surprised. An environment like no land sharks behind the basket. Another offensive rebound.
7th of the half. There's another one, 8, tipped in by Dunbar, and Auburn starting to assert itself here on Ole Miss's home floor.
Dunbar's out toughening Ole Miss right now, which will drive Kermit Davis crazy.
Stepped out of bounds, another turnover. All Auburn right now.
And all Auburn and all offensive rebounding right there. Shot fake. Good job. Dunbar gets inside position. He right now is imposing his will on this game by making the game more physical.
Dunbar has 8, all of them in the second half.
Ole Miss has answered every run by Auburn. They've got to do it on the defensive end. They've got to do it on the backboards, and they've got to do it by competing offensively to get the shot they want.
Foul, no bucket, but he'll go shoot 2. Good drive for Jared Harper. They're doing all this too with 20-point scorer Bryce Brown tonight on the bench. Sports Center coming up a little later this evening, and of course there's stories of the Cowboys and the Rams, the strength and the weakness as we move towards the weekend of the playoffs, how the Chargers are going to try to slow down Tom Brady. It has been so one-sided between Brady and Phillip Rivers, and the post-game coverage of the Bucks and the Rockets.
MVP? Harden.
Who?
Harden, MVP.
Really? I would think Giannis is the MVP.
Let me ask you. You lose Chris Paul.
Yeah.
You take him off. He's out.
So you have to do more.
And what have they done since he's been out? He's dominated the game. You can't stop him.
Giannis is dominated all year.
Giannis is ridiculous. Well, the freaks come out of him. I mean, he's unbelievable.
It's a freak show.
It is. He's absolutely what he does. But what Harden's done, if you think about what he's done the last 12 games.
Yeah, I expect that from Harden, though. I think Giannis is in a different level. But it's a showdown tonight. You can watch that. There's a quiet bucket from Schuler. That was the closest that Auburn had been since 15-14 before that 2-pointer from Schuler.
I'd expect to try to get something from Dunbar.
Instead, it's McCormick, net, no foul called, and here comes Ole Miss, Tyree. This does feel like a kind of an old-fashioned SEC. Let him play a little bit. There's a steal, though, and Dunbar continues to play well here in the second half. Harper, tough shot over Olenichik. That one went off of the foot of Davis. It'll stay Auburn ball.
Tyree, you can't play with the basketball, all right? Move your man, create some space, move the ball. But right now, you've got to be strong with the ball. It's a grown man's game right now. Those are empty possessions just by not being strong enough with the ball.
Kermit Davis picks up out of the coach's box warning.
There's a box?
There is.
I hated those things.
You're not one to be prone to be put in a room with Bruce Pearl all the way down on the And he's getting his own
Oh,
box.
of course. If one coach gets a warning, the other's going to get a warning. Now, these officials have really taken over this game. You stay in your place, Carl Rabbit.
This sounds sort of like tongue-in-cheek. Are you telling me that's not serious?
Little 2-3 zone right here, changing their defense again.
Spencer lost it. Tyree with a push to Schuler. Will get contact before the shot on the floor.
Little things right here. You know, when you talk about trying to steal a possession. So right there, Kermit Davis changes his defense. This time, Auburn doesn't react. They get a turnover. Now they get an extra possession. So that is really important. Both of these coaches are such good game coaches. They understand the tempo, the flow, the pace, the rhythm of the game.
Both teams now in the bonus.
I'd say you could look for a backdoor with Tyree right now. I really don't understand the matchup right now on Davis with Harper.
Schuler, he hits a three. All night it's been Davis, but now Devontae Schuler knocks one down. And the lead grows to 7.
Really good trust right there by Tyree. Getting in the lane, trusting it, making the right play, not forcing it.
Dunbar. Boy, he looks good. Release, rotation, and he buried a 3. Second half, he's got 11.
Dunbar's been kind of an X factor in this game.
He has.
He's brought him energy, he's brought him toughness, he's rebounded the ball.
Great
move. Execution.
Screen at the top led to a wide-open Davis and a good pass from Olejniczak.
And there's a perfect example on the matchup, on the curl thrown over the top of the defense. Great execution. Two coaches really doing a terrific job putting their guys in the right positions.
Brown's the hot guy tonight for Auburn. Oh, he knocks down another 3.
Good defense, just a tough shot. Brown's improved off the bounce. Just creating a little bit of separation and using his size.
Brown and Davis, 23 for Brown, 25 for Davis. 25 the most allowed by Auburn to a single player this season. They're going to call a foul on Wiley, who's pearls out of his box. He's out of court, out of the box. With Seth Greenberg, Carl Ravitch. Time now to take a look at the Capital One fan vote. And the question for the fans at home, who should be number 1 in college basketball? We've kind of had the same 1, 2, 3 for a while now. Duke, Michigan, Tennessee, Virginia. We invite you to go to facebook.com/SportsCenter. If you were voting, who would you vote number 1?
Probably right now, Michigan. Undefeated, played a good schedule. But any of those 3 teams, we talk about Duke, and Duke's phenomenal. I mean, to me, their ability to attack you in transition, offensive rebound. Barrett gets to the lane. Zion is Zion. Trey Jones, an elite defender. To beat Duke, what do you have to do? You got to be able to take care of the basketball. Those 3 other teams take care of the ball.
Yep.
What do you got to be able to do? Rebound the defensive end. All those teams are very good defensive rebounding teams. You got to be efficient offensively. All those 3 teams are efficient offensively. So, you know, Duke is terrific, but there are some other very good teams playing at a very high level right now. And all 3 of those, Michigan's got size, athleticism, and they got their own version of Trey Jones. Xavier Simpson, Jordan Bone of Tennessee, their own version of Trey Jones. So all 4 of those teams, absolute phenomenal.
The 2-3 zone being shown by Kermit Davis out of the break. And now they're going to move into a man-to-man.
Got to find, they'll go man when the ball comes to the high post. Got to stay with Bryce Brown.
Long 3. Off the iron, Olejniczak grabs the rebound, and wow, what is Samir Dowdy doing there? That's not a good foul. And we'll go down the other end.
And against that, in that zone offensive possession, they never got the ball reversed. Now, you know they wanted to get Brown a shot, but instead of attacking on the first side with Brown, go away from Brown and bring it back. And then all of a sudden, you move the defense and force the closeout. Now maybe he can get something off penetration and a kick. You can't attack your shooter on the first side. You want to get the ball to your shooter on the second side.
Olejniczak's first of the 1-on-1, nothing but net.
This is a very good free throw shooting team.
This was a team that was 12-20 a year ago. Ole Miss, chance to go 12-2, get a win over a top 20 team,
top 10 team. Now you say, does this win make them a top 25 team? This win gives them an opportunity to be a top 25 team. You got to remember now, they got to go on the road to Mississippi State this weekend.
Harper, long three. Too long, too strong. Good rebound in traffic by Davis.
Big time rebound right there. Big possession right here. Shuler's got to be strong with the basketball.
Tyree saw a lane. Can't get it to go. And how about the offensive rebound of his own shot?
Kermit Davis is going to dictate this shot right here.
Try that backdoor play one more time.
Try to post him right there. That's the third time they forced it in there, and the third time they've turned it over. You got to take what the defense gives you. If it's not there, swing it and get it to the other side.
Brown, way too strong. Offensive rebound, Okiki. Harper will try. They're living and dying with a three-point ball, and right now they're struggling a little bit. Terrence Davis, a double-double tonight. Just picked up his 10th rebound. They go with his 25 points. Tyree. Offensive rebound, and Buffin's played a solid game.
Buffin and Henson have been terrific, and I'll tell you what, Olnichek's been really good coming up with traffic rebounds. His size, his physicality, and the space he takes up in the middle of that zone, really good.
Pass was too high. They had the alley-oop open with some significant contact there on Auburn as McLemore went down, and he looked dazed for a second.
Every run that Auburn's made, Ole Miss has answered by executing, getting good shots, and getting stops.
Shuler, yes! How about Davis, the hot hand, had a chance to launch it. He said, nope, let's get it to Shuler.
This call playing on. They're going to get that timeout at the 4-minute.
Shuler has made a couple of big threes here in the second half. This is a big trip here. Six on the shot clock. Brown in and out. Offensive rebound on the floor. Auburn is going to get called with a foul. I think they're going to call it on McLemore. McLemore's fifth. Davis and this home crowd at Ole Miss with a chance to knock off one of the better teams in the country and last year's co-champion. Shuler. 12-point lead.
Chris Cotter at Bristol over on ESPN News. Houston trying to remain unbeaten on the road at Temple. Look at Shiz Alston bombing that three. It's a three-point advantage for Temple. 3:19 left to go there. I understand Jalen Fisher for TCU going to miss this one tonight against Kansas. Might make life easier for Devin Dotson than the Jayhawks. They'll tip in 15 minutes, guys.
Hi, Chris. Thank you very much. TCU and Kansas coming up in a moment, but how about Mississippi? Ole Miss got something brewing here in the pavilion. The culture of this program for Kermit Davis, and they're just 329 away from a real signature win, one of their biggest wins in a while.
A signature win, a program building win. So a big part of recruiting is you got to give those guys you're recruiting hope. Can you win? Can you get us to the NCAA tournament? On the bigger stage against the best teams, how are you going to play? You're basically creating a vision of what your program wants to be. And a win like this basically validates your vision. When you're coming to take over a job, you create a vision of who we are and how we're going to win. And this win validates that vision if they can finish it off for Kermit Davis.
Right, because this is a really good three-point shooting team, these Auburn Tigers. They need a handful now. They got a chance.
Really
Brown
good
and Harper on the floor. Yep.
Really good recovery. Really connected defensively. Very good closeouts. Got a rebound.
Harper takes the two.
Now you got to think. You got to be alert for pressure, back traps, meet all your passes, be strong with the basketball. And right now, you got to run the ball in your hands right now. Shorten your passes, run the ball in your hands, or back cut.
And a foul. Another aggressive play by the freshman out of Gainesville, Georgia, KJ Buffin.
You look at Buffin and you look at Henson. And here, this is their second SEC game. Right, playing a nationally ranked team. And the poise that they've played with, the toughness they've played with, really impressive.
62% free throw shooter, calmly knocks down the first one.
So right now, if you're Ole Miss, you got to keep the ball in front so you don't have to overhelp and kick out threes. Guards have got to come back and rebound the basketball.
Oh.
That ball's got to come out and use some clock right here.
Big deflection and an offensive rebound for Ole Miss.
You've got to compete offensively, work to get open, meet your passes, be strong with the basketball. Now Harper, he can go over Harper.
Good hands, though. Before he could go over him, Harper brought that ball off the leg, but it'll stay Ole Miss.
You're looking at a potential lob or a potential backdoor right here.
5 on the shot clock.
Here's the backdoor.
Olenichuk, and he's going to get fouled. Everything's going Ole Miss's way, including that missed free throw and the offensive rebound.
Right, but that's just really good execution right there. I mean, you're talking about they take away the inside screen, Olenichuk then accepts the second screen. That's just good execution. They spend a ton of time. I was talking to their assistant coaches today. The amount of time they spend every single day in practice, not at the end of practice, but throughout practice. Dead ball inbound, getting the ball in when you can't run the baseline. Side out of bounds, underneath out of bounds, coming out of timeouts. League play, man, you got to be good in those areas and making free throws.
Yep, empty free throws. 2 minutes to go, trailing by 11. Is it Jared Harper time?
It's Jared Harper, Bryce Brown time. Harper's been trying to get in the lane and get Brown some shots. Here comes some type of flat screen.
Harper no good. In the UAB game, Jared Harper took over down the stretch. He scored a career-high 31 in that game, and the difference, according to Bruce Pearl after that victory, was we had Jared Harper and they didn't. He just missed one from the free throw line extended.
You know what? Ole Miss has got Terrence Davis, and they don't, because Terrence, that's a big-time rebound. Davis has done a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Early on, knocked down threes, got to the basket. He's rebounding the ball in late possessions. He's been strong with the basketball. And most importantly, he's gotten in foul trouble a lot this year. But he's been much smarter defensively. And I got a question. They win this game. We see these blue shirts rolling in. And they win this game. As the commissioner of the court storm, I'm just letting you know in advance. All right? This would be a totally legal court storm. It would cost Ole Miss some money because there's a fine if you rush to court in the SEC. I say bring them on.
Would be their first win over a top 25 team since 2015. 27-12 for Terrence Davis. It's been the star tonight. Brown got loose with it, and another turnover. And Ole Miss up by 13 with 90 seconds to go, and a foul on Samir Dowdy. And this one is just about over.
You know what Kermit Davis has done today? He has done a great job mixing and matching his defenses. Showed a little 1-3-1, rotated back to the 2-3. Showed straight 2-3, played some man-to-man, doubled the post on the catches, big to big. His defensive game plan and the versatility of what they've been defensively been really good.
So Bruce Pearl said on the phone the other night to me, let's not be surprised by how good Ole Miss could be. We saw this with us, we saw it with Tennessee. After a win like this against last year's SEC co-champion, are they capable of competing for a championship in the conference, or are they not?
I think it's
Tennessee?
too early. They've got a road win already. Now they've got to win against the top 20 team. They've got a great opportunity against Mississippi State coming off a very tough loss. let's put it this way. They're playing their way into the NCAA tournament. And it's great. And look, you'd love to hang a banner. But for this team to have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament, you got to do it. Look, you're not going to get this game back. You win this game, you got to move on. Because in this league, there are no rocket chair games.
No. LSU's seemingly putting it together right now. At Alabama, we saw what happened to Kentucky there. Iowa State out of conference is brutal.
SEC, Big 12, a team that looks a little bit like this Ole Miss team. 4 guards, guys that can make plays, positionless basketball. But when you look at that, the one thing about the SEC now is that it's never as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is, because your next game, you've got to celebrate, learn, clean slate. I used to do a thing with our team after a game. We'd watch our film. We'd go over what we did well, what we need to get better. I'd wipe the board clean and say, you know what? Next play, next game. We got to reboot, whether we win or we lose.
TCU, Kansas follows us. 3-point shot, no good. Offensive rebound, and that goes. Bruce Pearl says we still got a little time here. 13-point deficit. Let's talk it over.
Yeah, so like, what do we have to do right now? Well, Kermit Davis wants his guys coming over quicker to take advantage of it. So what does Ole Miss have to do? First and foremost, you got to understand you can run the baseline. Secondly, you got to understand if you have a problem, use a timeout. Run the ball in your hand, meet your passes, stay out of the corners, catch it, rip it, face up, eyes up before you put it on the floor, and look to advance pass.
If they do hang on and win, it'll be their 4th 2-0 start in the last 20 seasons. And Terrence Davis, statistically, was the guy tonight.
He was the guy. You think about Tyree had 31 the other night. Terrence Davis was the guy in a lot of ways. He racked it. He moved without the ball. He knocked down the 3. He helped him rebound the ball. He played like a senior's supposed to play. He played with poise. He played with toughness. He led, and he made plays when he had to.
Schuler had a couple of big threes in the second half. There was a 3-headed monster about them in the backcourt with Schuler, Davis, and Tyree. And on a night in which Tyree has just 4 points, they're going to knock Auburn off.
Oh, my. Stepped over the line. Most important thing, getting the ball in bounds. You've got to have a clock in your head as you're running the baseline to create a passing lane. Tyree struggled, but, you know, he's made some plays.
Okeke knocks it down. It's 10 with a minute to go.
Now, Okeke knocks that down. Wouldn't you like to see Okeke just be a little more assertive?
100%. He had the terrific spin move there early in this half.
Talented, long, skilled.
Well, have you had players like that? How do you get them to be assertive and aggressive when it's not in their nature?
He's got to see that in himself. In fact, I went to Auburn's Pro Day this year. And Bruce asked me to speak to him, and I said, how do you see yourself? And his answer was, I'm all right. I said, no, that's not how you see yourself. You got to see yourself as a sophomore that played as many minutes as you did last year, as a guy that can come into a game and take over a game, that can impact the game defensively, rebound the ball, make plays. You don't have to defer anymore as a sophomore. And that's who he's got to be. But now, who Ole Miss has got to be right now is they've got to work harder to get open. Right? They've got to meet their passes to be strong with the basketball. And then they're going to have to make some free throws. But good spacing. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kermit try to run someone long out of this to open up the floor. Because when you play against Bruce Pearl's pressing teams, the more players you bring into the backcourt, the easier it is for the press. Right. So what you really want to do is you want to stretch the defense, get people out of there, and let guys work one-on-one with more floor to get open.
9 o'clock in the East, 8 o'clock here in Mississippi on the campus of Ole Miss, the Pavilion, where Ole Miss got a 10-point lead. TCU and Kansas coming up in mere minutes. I'm just curious. I want to go back to that Okeke thing. Will you show him video of the drive that he made? Like, how do you convince him this is who you
you'll
can be?
You'll do a highlight reel of plays of him making plays that you think all these guys in the backcourt. See, right now, Olnichuk, he's got to either post. Watch them run someone out right now. Watch Davis right now screen and run. See, now look. Right now they're playing a center fielder, a face guard, and everyone. Every cross will be a switch. There's Davis going deep, which is going to open up the court.
They get the ball into Tyree. He's trapped in the corner, and we're going to get a foul. Call that on Harper.
You're talking about an 85% free throw shooter? One thing about old Doug shows now, he's not going to listen too long. I think he was aptly named. Officials, shows, like they're in charge.
This just sounds like the angry ex-coach. Official issue.
Got to step up.
You got to shoot it.
They got to get a flat ball screen and got to get one up.
That one long, and it's going to be
Why now?
Auburn
Buffalo,
ball.
what do you?
I think Buffin may have thought that ball was deflected by Auburn because he could have grabbed it.
Yeah, sure could have.
When in doubt, grab it.
They're going to look to the monitor and see who that's off of, which is under 2 minutes they can do that. Yeah, looking at the out of bounds, which they're allowed to look at right now. Hard game to officiate. I mean, like, the speed of this game, the athleticism, the guard play. You know what, Carl? I'm not sure if he didn't make the right decision. Watch right here.
That's his hand.
That's his hand.
Nice try.
Tried to help the guy out.
KJ Buffin.
Huh?
Now don't be confused, Seth. That's his hand.
That's his hand. You don't want me to get confused?
Don't get confused.
Can I confuse you? Can't foul three-point shooter. Got to come back and rebound the basketball. Understand your timeout situation. You've got plenty of timeouts to work with. If you're going to make a mistake, you're going to make a mistake long.
So we work with Tim Kirchen, and he changes lists all the time. Now you have tiers. Will you change the
Greenberg
tier?
grid.
Yeah, will the Greenberg grid
The
change
grid
with
will
Ole Miss?
Yeah, because, well, first of all, Auburn's loss, I had him in the top tier because of co-champions from a year ago. Played Duke pretty well.
So
they're going to have to slide to the second tier.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, I had Ole Miss in the third tier. I think we have to slide them up.
Ooh. Big move for Ole Miss and the Greenberg grid going to tier 2.
Grid 2. Come on,
I said on the Greenberg grid going to tier 2. They get 20 seconds left and they're down 9. That 3 no good. It's not for lack of chances. Now foul on Spencer here. The 22 could have just let that wind it down. Listen to the crowd here at Ole Miss. The students who are mostly at home watching this game. I mean, how excited would you be to come back to campus knowing what's in store for the winter?
They're not back for another 10 days. But how about the students that came here today? I mean, you look at that section across from us. I mean, that's all students. It was Jersey night tonight. Everyone got the nice red jerseys right there. And those are students. And not only are they here, but they're engaged. And, Bruce Pearl's disappointed in his team. But as he looks around this arena, he sees Auburn Arena a little bit next.
I understand.
And what he was able to accomplish in the ownership. Part of the building a program is creating ownership in your alumni, in your student body, to make this the thing to do. And you know what? That's what's happening here right now at Ole Miss.
Kermit and Bruce have met a whole bunch of times. And Bruce Pearl has won 7 of the 8 meetings. And most of those were when he was at Middle Tennessee. Now he is here coaching an SEC school, trying to establish himself in a culture. And at Ole Miss, he's going to be 1-0 against Bruce Pearl, who's at Auburn.
More level playing field, playing at home with senior upper-class guards. with guys that are buying in, and let's give our guy AK some credit now. You look at this backcourt, all right, these were his guys. Kermit Davis is coaching them now. But those two freshmen were really good, and this is a program-building win. You create a vision when you take a job, and then all of a sudden you've got to validate that vision. This win, in this moment of time, validates it. Now they're going to have to build on top of it. I say the students are coming. What do you think?
I would agree 100%. They led from start to finish.
Good respect right here. Look amongst these Auburn players, respect how hard Ole Miss played today.
Right in front of us, Bruce Pearl, Kermit Davis. First win since 2013 against a team ranked in the top 11. And a pretty emphatic win when it's all said and done. They take it by 15. My good friend Seth Greenberg, our entire crew, I'm Carl Ravitch. Time now to send you to Bob with Shoes and Fran Fraschilla. They are in Lawrence, Kansas, TCU, and Kansas.